Welcome back everybody. This week we're going to learn how to make a simple tomato topping that can be served on toasted bread. It is actually a sauce called the sauce Antiboise, which is a derivative from the sauce Vierge, with the exception that the tomatoes are not cooked. And we're going to chop some juicy ripe tomatoes and they're going to be mixed in a very fragrant dressing made with olive oil, 2 types of vinegar, garlic, capers, spring onion, toasted coriander seed, salt and pepper of course, and fresh basil. And when you take all of that mixture and pour it gently on a piece of grilled bread, it really works. Now not only this recipe is very easy and straightforward to make, but it is great if, like me, you grow tomatoes and you end up with these small ones in a different size. You don't know what to do with them, so you can transform this into this beautiful tomato topping. So these are all the ingredients. In terms of the mise en place, we're going to chop the spring onion. I've peeled and halved the garlic, but we're going to use a garlic press to press it after. I'll show you this after. And most important, you have to peel the tomatoes using the Monde technique. So you make a cross shape on top, remove the core, plunge this in boiling water for 20 seconds, then from boiling water to cold water, and the skin detaches on its own. Okay, so that's for the ingredients. And now let me show you just when everything is chopped and prepared how it looks like. So since this is an assembly type of sauce, meaning that we're going to mix ingredients together into a dressing, it is all about the food preparation or the mise en place. Starting with the tomatoes, once they're peeled, you're gonna cut them in half, then remove the seed. It's called seeding the tomatoes, so like you see there. So you don't want to have much liquids. You remove the seed and then you chop them and use a concassé, which is a rough chop. It looks like cubes. Okay, that's for the tomatoes. The garlic press, keep it in oil like this. Keep it nice and fragrant, and it's going to flavor the oil we're going to use. You're going to measure your ingredients, of course, the oil, the vinegar, the capers. The spring onion, classic, thinly sliced, nothing major. And the coriander seed needs to be crushed. And you can use a pestle and mortar, the back of a pan, a rolling pin, or even with a knife. 1 or 2 pinches is enough. The basil leaf, on the other hand, you don't want to chop them straight away because they can go black very quick. Okay, so we're going to chop this just at the last minute. So make sure you chop all of the tomatoes, you got everything prepared, and then we're going to make the sauce. It is based on a simple dressing. So a dressing, like everything in French cooking, we're going to have a good amount of pepper because this has to be nice and fragrant, a little bit of salt. And then we start with the vinegars, exactly the same as any dressing. So the 2 types of vinegar. And then we're going to mix until the salt is totally dissolved. As with any dressing, we're going to follow with the oil. And we're going to incorporate. All done. We're going to follow with the capers. I like to do a rough chop for the capers. And the tomatoes, try to use a paper towel and remove as much juice as possible. Okay. Put them in, and then we're going to start to blend a whole lot. So as you can see, very straightforward. We're going to follow by adding the garlic in there. We have all of the spring onion. Okay, mixed well. We're going to add, so the coriander is up to you. 1 or 2 pinches. I like to put 2 pinches because I like the toasted flavors. And we're going to finish with the basil leaves. To finish, you have the basil. I like to put some of it thinly sliced for the flavors, and because we need to leave this to infuse, I like to add a few leaves in there, full leaves. Now the reason there is lots of dressing and lots of juice like this is that we need to leave this to cook for at least 15 minutes in the juices there. And when you serve it, you can actually drain some of the juices to really just keep the good stuff. Okay? So this is ready. That's all you need to do. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to cover it and I'm going to leave it to rest for 15 minutes and then we're going to try some on some toast. So after 15 minutes, what happens is that the tomatoes and all the other ingredients have mingled together, so all the flavors are there, and it has also kind of slightly cooked the whole mixture here. And the first thing we're going to do, of course, is taste, because I can't wait. I'm just going to take some of the sauce, a bit of spring onion. Wow. Now that screams grilled bread all over. You would dip bread in there. If there was no one around, but of course, we need to do a presentation. The coriander actually, ooh, nice and toasty, and comes in the kind of an afternote. So obviously, it's very liquid like this. You don't really serve it like this. You got two options. So if you want, you can put this into a bowl, onto a table for your guests with some toasted bread on the side. Okay, let's kind of bruschetta aside. So what we're gonna do here, you're gonna basically drain. And you remove the leaves of basil, and you're gonna drain a little bit like that. Okay, and then transfer it to a bowl to avoid having too much liquid. So what I'm gonna do a little presentation in a bowl. I'm gonna make some little croutons, and I'm gonna show you some different serving suggestions. So here we are at the table. If you want, at the end, you can add a grating of lemon zest into the mixture or just on top to decorate. I've got here the presentation in the bowl. So you put everything in a bowl, a piece of basil, and people can help themselves. You've got some toasted bread. I've made crouton because I like this pan fried in oil and it's brushed with garlic, but you can just use your toaster and make some bread. The other option, of course, is to get multiple little toasts like this for a little reception. Okay, and you can decorate with a piece of basil. And what I'll do here, of course, is to finish it off with either a drop of olive oil or a tiny little bit of that extra dressing, because on a crouton you want to have that moisture. You know, you want something moist. You don't want something, too dry. Okay, and of course, what's left to do now is to eat it, and that's what I'm going to do now. So let's have a bite. I think this was made for bread. This sauce antiboise. The dressing just goes absolutely perfectly with the toasted bread. Flavor of the herbs coming through. Spring onion, the coriander, I love that toastiness in the background. And it goes in layer. Now you first bite, you got some tomato, you've got the dressing. And wow, this is the French bruschetta. Brilliant. Oh. Now this is so easy to eat. If you got people over and you serve this little toast with that sauce antiboise, they are gonna love it. It's actually super addictive. And when you can see how easy it is to make, really, you really have to try this. But that's gonna be it for this video for this week. As always, if you have any comments, use the comment section. If you want to share your picture, use the handle on Instagram, hashtag French Cook Academy. And if you want to support us, you can head to Patreon. And by the way, thank you to all of you on Patreon supporting us all the time for the channel. Greatly appreciate it. And for the one that wants to learn more about cooking, we've got, of course, our online culinary school where we have now more than 1,500 students up and growing. So that's it for me. I will see you next time with another French cooking video. Take care all. Bye-bye.